I'm just trying to form my thoughts around this, because it really does seem that National get more cut through on banging the drum. Labor just spends. Labor just layers us up with debt. Labor is just, seething with public service lefties, and we're going to get rid of them all. You mentioned Treasury laying out the actual facts. Well, Nationals just spent months running down public servants left, right, and centre. So why would anyone look at the Treasury documents? Of course, they're going to say it's bad. Anyway, we've promised this thing. How do you combat that when a slogan or even a myth, like the myth of National being the sound economic mind,
the party of
is
business,
so pervasive? How does Labor combat that when it looks like at times facts don't do it?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the unfortunate thing, right? When they're getting huge donations and have the ability to get the cut through because they can repeat and they can buy ads and they can just keep going over and over and over and over and over again. Like we had our regional conference this weekend and we had raffles. We were selling food. That's how we make our money in the Labour Party. Whereas, they have big, billionaire donors who are able to give them, here's $100,000, which you can spend a lot on media and ads for $100,000. So we just have to keep repeating it as well. But it is hard to get that cut through, particularly when you are basically, it feels like you're fighting a huge, well-funded, well-oiled machine, which is very slick. And here you come along with your buy my $5 raffle, 3 for $10, and try your best with the small amount that you have, but you just have to do it.
The other thing that we need to keep telling people about is, as you say, 30 billion for COVID. When you look at the graph of debt in this country, in the last 6 years of Labor, it went up about $25-30 billion. But the previous term under John Key, it went up 50 billion. So people look at it and go, "Whoa, 100 billion, put on it." No, hang on. When John Key came in, it was around the 20 billion mark. By the time he left, it went to about the 70 billion mark. And then we had COVID and it's now close to like 100 billion. It's like, it becomes frustrating. Like, I mean, I don't engage that much on social media, but when people just come in and go, Labor was the worst for the economy this country's ever had, $100 billion worth of debt. And the reason I don't engage is because if you show them it, we're going to talk about it tonight. Actually, I've got another. We did this segment last week called "What It Looks Like to Be Brainwashed," and we're going to do volume 2 tonight. What it looks like to be brainwashed. And one of the things that happens is there's a thing called motivated cognition. Motivated cognition is when you have a preset outcome, a presupposed outcome that you stick to no matter what evidence is put in front of you. A plus B equals C. So if you change B, if I put a roadblock in front of B, that means you can't use that. You just go from A to a different position to get to the same outcome. And that seems to be the situation that a lot of voters, so if you tell them that this is not the reason, this can't happen because of that reason, you can't get that outcome with this supposition, they just find a different supposition, no matter how wrong it is, to get to the same income. And I don't know how you combat that with money, with advertising, with whatever. I don't know how that's combated. I think that's human nature, and it's a real pickle, to be really honest, for trying to be truth tellers.
Yeah, and that's why it's almost, we need the champions outside of just the Labour Party, because people won't believe it if we say it. But, will they believe, the hundreds of people that marched for their disabilities, the individualised funding, the flexibility? Yes, they'll believe them. Will they believe the over 50,000 people that marched, on the streets for the war against nature? Yes, they'll believe them. So you have to look at it as not just we basically spreading a message, but actually there are so many different movements that are now happening across our country to activate against this government. They may not believe us, but they can believe the movement.
Yeah.
And also, if Matthew Hooton is even, as right-wing as you could get, if you can describe Matthew as right-wing, if he's offended, I'm sorry. But you know, when their commentators and, you know, economists like Michael Riddle are coming out and basically saying, well, this is the debt profile, this is, you know, basically tax cuts can be inflationary, etc., then at some point you got to start believing something, and maybe just questioning, actually, are they actually right? Because all these other people are saying this thing, not just that Labour Party that, you know, I may or may not like.